Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're going to completely reframe how you think about a totally everyday, honestly kinda mundane activity. We're going to stop looking at it as just a chore or a way to get from point A to point B. Instead, we're going to see it for what it truly is, quite literally, the most accessible, scientifically backed medical intervention we have available to us today.
Let's dive right in. Just imagine for a second that some massive pharmaceutical company announced a brand new revolutionary magic pill. And they're claiming this single medication can actively combat chronic diseases, significantly boost your memory, completely ward off cognitive decline, and, get this, actually extend your overall lifespan by several years. Oh, and the best part? It has absolutely zero negative side effects. And it's completely free. I mean, you'd want a prescription immediately, right? For sure.
Well, here's the crazy thing. This incredibly potent prescription already exists. The dose is just one step, to be taken about 10,000 times daily. So the miracle cure we're talking about isn't a pill at all. It is just the remarkably simple act of putting one foot in front of the other. That's right, today we are exploring the profound and super well-documented health benefits of walking.
Part 1. The physical superpowers, and how we can actually reverse chronic disease.
The clinical data behind this is honestly pretty astonishing. So research on these massive population samples has shown that just 15 minutes, literally 15 minutes, of moderate daily walking can add up to 3 years to your life expectancy. Think about that, 3 extra years just for 15 minutes a day. And the really cool part is that the benefits are dose responsive, so every additional 15 minutes of daily exercise you do actually reduces all-cause death rates by another 4%.
Because under the hood, walking isn't just some lower body exercise. It triggers a whole systemic physical upgrade for your entire body. In just 10 minutes, it boosts endorphins to ease stress. It improves your balance. It even builds bone mass, which is a huge deal because that significantly reduces the risk of osteoporosis. Plus, it works your arm, shoulder, and abdominal muscles and fundamentally improves your heart health and overall circulation. It's really the whole shebang.
When you really break it down, even these small, consistent doses of walking act like this almost impenetrable preventative shield against some of our most dangerous chronic diseases. Like, for individuals with type 2 diabetes, walking just a single mile a day makes them less than half as likely to die from all causes compared to inactive adults with the condition. Half. And just 30 minutes of walking a day, 5 days a week, cuts your risk of coronary heart disease by a massive 19%. It naturally decreases your BMI, it lowers your blood pressure, and it's heavily linked to preventing both colon and breast cancers.
And if we're just talking about basic weight management, the numbers are incredibly encouraging here too. Even if you're walking at a super casual, slow pace, say just 2 miles per hour, a 200-pound person is going to burn about 114 calories per mile. It's just a highly effective, low-impact strategy for long-term weight management, and it rarely causes those physical injuries you sometimes get with, more intense workouts.
Moving on to Part 2, the mind-body connection, mental health, and the power of green space.
So there's this really powerful feedback loop created by what researchers call green exercise. Because when you walk in a natural environment, you aren't just moving your body. The environment itself actually encourages physical activity, which lowers your risk factors for non-communicable diseases, leading to better physical health. But simultaneously, just engaging with nature directly reduces your stress levels. It improves your mental health. And then that mental clarity feeds right back into your physical well-being. It's like this beautiful, completely self-sustaining loop.
Just to put that into perspective, there's this striking statistic from the UK mental health charity Mind. In their study of green exercise, 90% of people said it benefited their physical health, right? But a staggering 94% felt outdoor exercise specifically improved their mental health. 94%. Walking has literally been shown to actively relieve the physical symptoms of anxiety that come with minor stress, and it directly elevates your overall psychological well-being.
And, it's not just about your mood either. It's about actual cognitive performance. We're talking about how you think, how you understand, and how you remember things. Walking physically alters your brain. Studies actually show it increases the size of the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. And those are the specific areas of the brain that are absolutely critical for memory and complex thought. Especially in older adults, regular walking actively improves cognitive functioning, and it fights off cognitive decline way better than simple stretching or toning exercises ever could. Which brings us to Part 3. What is your dosage? Let's get into a practical guide.
Okay, so the baseline recommendation for good health is to engage in moderate intensity physical activity. But what does that actually mean when you're out there on the sidewalk? Well, the CDC uses this brilliant, super simple method called the talk test.
Basically, if you're walking at a moderate intensity, which is roughly 100 steps per minute, you should easily be able to hold a conversation and talk, but you wouldn't have quite enough breath to sing a song. If you can only say a few words without having to pause for a breath, well then you've pushed over into vigorous intensity.
Now, we do need a little reality check when it comes to these physical activity thresholds. The average American adult takes about 6,500 steps per day, and that lands them firmly in what's considered the low active category. Now, obviously, any movement is good movement, but the compounding clinical benefits truly peak when you push yourself up into the active category, and that means hitting that sweet spot of 10,000 to 12,500 steps a day.
It is super vital to clarify, though, that this required dosage shifts heavily depending on your age and your lifestyle. Like, for preschool children, they naturally need vast amounts of steps. And consider this absolutely fascinating piece of data. While most North American kids take around 8,000 to 9,000 steps a day, youth in traditional Amish communities, who, largely abstain from modern technology, they average over 15,000 steps a day. It really goes to show how much our modern environment has just kind of engineered the steps right out of our daily lives.
But hey, please don't let those high numbers discourage you. If you're a sedentary office worker currently averaging, say, 7,000 steps, you really don't need to suddenly jump to 15,000 tomorrow. You can achieve massive health improvements just by clipping on a pedometer and consciously adding an extra 2,000 to 2,500 steps to your normal routine. We're talking about a quick walk on your lunch break or maybe just parking a little further away from the grocery store entrance. It is incredibly attainable for all of us.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. The evidence is just overwhelming at this point. Walking isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It is absolutely the ultimate empowering tool for a longer, healthier, and mentally sharper life. So I want to challenge you. Stop viewing walking as a mundane chore. Instead, start embracing it as your daily dose of the world's most accessible wonder drug. What you should really take away from this explainer today is just one simple question. Where will your next 3,000 steps take you?